Welcome to the Reseller Island podcast. We are a podcast designed to help out other resellers. We understand that reselling can be lonely, so we wanted to create a community where you guys felt like you were part of a community and had something to listen to while you are shipping, sourcing, or listing your items. I am Jake. I go by JRideFlips here on social media, and I have two co-hosts. The one below me is
Shane, Soda City Flips. What's going on, guys?
you're much faster that time. And to the side of me, we have
Hey guys, Keith, Vintage Sport Flips. How's it going?
good to have you guys here. So, we wanted to just go ahead and start off, get to the meat and potatoes of some of the things going on in the community this week. We wanted to talk about the new Dibdit.com guidelines. Shane, to the below of me, made an episode on his YouTube channel talking about those guidelines. So I thought, Shane, you could kick us off here.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. I was much quicker this time because I knew what was coming. Last week, I thought you were going to say my name, and then you
Uh-huh.
didn't, so it was like awkward. But, anyways, yeah. So Dibdit came out with some new guidelines, and I disagreed with. I think there was three of them, maybe four. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this in today's video. So I did, and I expressed my thoughts and my opinions on the just the guidelines that I didn't agree with. And one of them was kind of left open to interpretation because Dave I guess let AI write these for him, and I'm assuming they kind of used other marketplace guidelines to kind of funnel AI into the right direction. But AI left this one specific price policing way open for interpretation, and a lot of people gathering from comments interpreted it the same way I was. And it said something along the lines of you're not allowed to price police from any kind of outside marketplaces, something like that. I forget exactly. But it said any outside marketplaces. So I thought eBay. I can't use sell comps, right? So I mentioned that in my video, and oh my gosh, the the comments that have ensued because of my opinion, people really feel like I'm attacking Dibdit as a whole, like attacking that brand, attacking the owners, and that's not the case. I was just speaking my opinion on the guidelines they instated, and man, yeah, all hell broke loose. It was absolutely insane. I got phone calls, I got messages, I got hate comments. I was called a Karen today. These comments are still going on. This video was out a couple of days ago. So, um, yeah, people just think I'm hating on Dibdit, and that's not the case at all. But I have gotten a lot of comments that were positive, and people saying this video was a good thing because now those guidelines that were in question and a little vague have now been revised, and they're more clear. People have clarity; they understand now, and yeah, it just created a whole scene that I didn't expect just based off of my opinions. It caught me off guard. Um, how negative everyone took it.
Yep.
Yep.
No, yeah, definitely our most polarizing video up to date for sure.
Yeah.
So, first thing I want to say about the guidelines is I love, to its very core, capitalism. I love businesses and organizations coming together and deciding how they are going to run their business. And I love that the guys over at Dibdit and their whole network decided upon some guidelines. And I totally agree that all marketplaces should have their own specific rules and guidelines according to the product that they want to give to the consumers. Over on District, we have two consumers, buyers and sellers. The guidelines were basically derived for the consumers on the selling side of things. So I'll talk. My phone has been absolutely blowing up since the Dibdit guidelines as well, before and after Shane's video, because I own First Class Treasures, which is a competing marketplace with Dibdit. So a lot of people reached out to me, called me, texted me, commented on videos, tagging me, and things like that. So I have been thrown into the thick of this as well.
Sorry.
Oh no worries. It's great, because I love this free enterprise and capitalistic society, and I'm glad that we all have our own opinions and are legally and lawfully able to express them. So, before I start getting too much on things that I love to talk about, let's get Keith's little opinion here.
Sure. Yeah. So I definitely changed my opinion a little bit as time went on. When I first read them, I mean, like Shane said, the price policing thing confused me a bit because I know I comp stuff all the time on Dibdit or First Class Treasures, not to be annoying, not to say like it needs to sell for this, but some of it's almost educating people on like a vintage sports item that they might not know about, right? So, and I always counterpoint that to like, but it's $2 here or whatever it brings. I don't care. So the fact that they clarified that is great. I mean, the fact that that's sort of out of the guidelines. And I've been in whatnot shows where people will comp like something sells for $80, like a vintage T-shirt, and somebody in the comments will say that's worth $40 on eBay. Like that's not healthy for buyer or seller, right? That's a really negative comment. Maybe that's what they meant in the guidelines. But
that's exactly what they meant. Like I said, I had a couple of phone calls and lots of conversations with some of the Dibdit guys, and that's exactly what they meant. I just think that it could have been worded better, and there would have been no confusion. So they corrected that, and that's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. And then the other point of contention for some was the promoting other marketplaces, and I probably for one was as guilty of that. Unknowingly, I mean, I did mention First Class Treasures, and I mentioned Shane's channel when I was doing the giveaway stream there, and I didn't really even dawn on me that I was probably pulling people away from the show during the giveaway stream that I had talked about earlier when I was doing a Dibdit show. So I did feel bad about that, and that's something that is sort of known on any other marketplace, right? Like Whatnot, you're not allowed to promote other things, your eBay store, your Etsy store, and obviously eBay bans all kind of off eBay communication. So. Yeah. That's understandable, that kind of thing that we implemented, and not, I don't have an issue with that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll kind of speak to the promoting yourself and other platforms. So, again, I don't have a ton of emotions. I'm just not a very emotional person, so I don't view things through that wide of a emotional lens. I typically view things through a political and business lens, right? So, the way I see it is, I'll use my platform as an example, Dibdit. Also Craigslist Hunter's platform, as well as Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Lady's platform, Knickknacks. So basically what I see from things is we are 4 platforms offering a product to sellers who want to go live on the platform. And this policy of not being able to talk about your own shows on different platforms is stirring up in the community because different sellers want a different product. So Knickknacks, Crazy Lamp Lady, she is what I consider a mega or juggernaut influencer in this space. And so part of her product is she is going to these sellers and saying, I have major influence in the reselling community. I will create an audience for you and give you that opportunity to sell to my audience, but you must keep it within the confines of my Knickknacks network. And if you agree to those terms, here is my 500,000 sized audience. Have fun, right? Same thing with Dibdit. But then there's also Craigslist Hunter, who I also consider a mega influencer in the space, who runs the same sort of platform. And I've never spoken with Pete personally. I hope one day too. I really enjoy his channel and look up to him. From what I've gathered from other people, he is, hey, I have this audience. I'm going to let you guys utilize this audience. And on top of that, I'm going to let you talk about your own social media and your other sales, whether it be on other platforms within district or whatnot, or if you have a flea market in Florida or Wyoming that you want people to come to, talk about your stuff. This is the second benefit that I'm giving you with my product. Then we have Dibdit, who has a pretty high tier influencer in Kevin and some other higher tier influencers in Dave and Carrie. And they have brought on other influencers and they have created this network, and their product to these sellers is, hey, use our audience. We are going to give you these hundreds of thousands to potentially millions of viewers. All we ask is that you keep it within our network. That is the product that we are giving to you. And then I consider myself a mid-tier influencer. I am giving the product, use my audience and use my friend's audience, but also talk about your stuff. If you want to talk about if you are selling cards on First Class Treasures, I'm totally okay with you saying, hey guys, I have a show tomorrow night on Dibdit cards where I will be selling almost virtually the same product. Follow me so that way you can be notified when I go live on Dibdit cards. I am perfectly okay with that. It's just part of my morals and it's part of my business strategy and product that I want to give to the sellers. Is you can take advantage of my audience and my friends' audience, and you can promote yourself and go get other audience members from wherever you would like to.
Yeah.
So
Now,
that's the product side of it.
I do agree with what you were saying, Keith, about pulling from auctions. Like, for instance, one of them gave an example in my comments. I think it was Mike Death Pile Picker. How they had somebody say, "Hey guys, we're wrapping up this show here on Dibdit, whatever marketplace it was. We're about to go live over on First Class Treasures in 5 minutes. Follow me. Come over there." I don't agree with that at all. I think that's shisty and not cool. But what you're saying, Jake, I got a show coming up over here, that kind of thing. Or like I do, I say, guys, I own my own marketplace, the Crooked Spine. If you guys are interested in books and things like that, please come check it out. That's all I ever do. That's what I don't see a problem with. I do see a problem with what Mike was saying in my comments and what Keith talked about, taking people from there and moving them with you as you move. That I see a problem with.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, it's not like an unofficial raid train. I mean, when there's like probably a raid train already in place on that marketplace. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So really, it comes down to, I truly believe that every single marketplace owner and every business owner in any aspect of this economy that we live in should be able to run their business how they see fit according to how the government has placed guidelines and according to the law. Obviously, can't break the law. But if you want to run your business the way you want to, and it's within the confines of the Constitution of the United States of America and in accordance to current laws, go for it. And then it's up to the consumers to decide what they want to do. So another example of this is, do you guys remember Goya beans? Did you guys ever hear about that? So yeah, there's this Hispanic business owner who supported Donald Trump and publicly supported him. And a ton of people who hated Donald Trump said, I will never buy Goya beans ever again. And people who loved Donald Trump say, I am strictly going to buy Goya beans when I buy beans. This is just a trickle-down effect of decisions that are made, right? So, speaking very candidly, a few sellers have come over from Dibdit to First Class Treasures and have expressed to me personally and also in their lives, which is kind of wild, saying, I don't enjoy censorship. I'm never going to sell over there again. I have found my home in First Class Treasures. And that has everything to do with just consumers making the decisions according to the political and the product that they are receiving. So on the other side of things, there are going to be people that say, you know what, I appreciate Kevin and Dave and Carrie and Rod and Mike and Tim and OBX Picker, anyone that I'm missing, and Heather and everyone else associated with Tina and Dawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them. And there may be more. Who knows? There might be 17 other private partners that we don't even know about at this point. And there might be 17 more in a couple of days. Who knows? It's kind of like the revolving door of the Locker Room podcast. We have the open door of multi-partnerships over on Dibdit. Anyways, when you do this, so basically they have like a nationalist, hey, this is our network. We want you guys to stay within the confines of the network, and we're going to give you guys this product of viewership and a place where you can sell items to people that are looking for them. There are going to be plenty of people that are like, I really love that idea, and I'm going to be extremely loyal to Dibdit, and I'm never going to sell outside of their network because of the goods and services they're providing for me. So all of this to say, you as a seller, if you are interested in selling live, you just have to decide, do I want kind of a more freeing space where I can talk about anything I want, like a First Class Treasures or a Craigslist Hunter? Or do I want to have the kind of nationalist approach where I need to stay within the confines of this marketplace? And of course, you can go outside of it. You just can't talk about going outside of it while you're there. That's just a product that we have to consume as a society. So that's how I view it.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other, because people have been asking me, they know that that's one of the things I didn't agree with.
Hmm.
because I think more along the lines like you do, Jake. But the other two things were cursing and drinking.
Hmm.
And now they said excessive drinking and or recreational drug. Um, I'm not an excessive drinker. I'm a social drinker. So every time I go out, I generally have a glass of
This is
whiskey.
water.
Mine actually is today too.
It actually is, yeah.
But what anytime I go live, I have a glass of whiskey, a rum and coke, or something. And people who watch me know that. And every
Hmm.
time they're like, "What are you drinking tonight, Shane?" Or "What's in the bottle today, Shane?" It just kind of sparks conversation. And I view every live, whether it's on YouTube or on one of the marketplaces over on District, it's a social event. So I'm enjoying a glass of whiskey or whatever it is. And some of the responses were, they're not saying you can't drink, just put it in a solo cup or put it in your
In a
Yeti.
Yeti. Uh-huh.
And I get that, but that's hiding something from my viewers or whatever. And if I gotta hide something, then I'm not being myself, and I just can't do that. Um, the cursing thing, I 100% understand because Dibdit especially is a family oriented marketplace, right? They talk about it all the time. It is a family oriented marketplace. So I get they don't want cursing, but for somebody like me who grew up around it and it's just part of me, it's hard to turn that off. And if I'm over there selling and I accidentally slip up and then all of a sudden now I'm banned, like I can't
Hmm.
get behind that. It was an accident. And I'm sure the first one or two times they'd be cool and say, "Hey man, try to watch it, whatever." But if I did it a third, fourth, or fifth time, and every time it's accident, just because it's instilled into who I am and it's how I speak, if I slip up, eventually they're going to have enough of it and they're going to say, "Okay, you can't sell here anymore." And I can't I can't do that. I can't put myself up there if I'm trying to remind myself the whole time I'm live, don't curse, don't curse, don't curse. Then I'm not focused on what I'm trying to do, which is entertain and sell or just hang
Hmm.
out or whatever it is. And I just feel like that's not for me. So that's why I made the decisions I made. Um
Also,
to
you could potentially run into the issue of like you are their friend and
mhm,
they know you personally and you have an audience that you bring to Dibdit. If you swear multiple times and they give you 4 or 5 warnings, maybe 6 because you're their friend, but other people, there's not as many warnings, that leads to
right.
issues as well. Not saying that that
Yeah.
is what would happen, but that is a natural downstream effect of what could be an issue in the future, you
Yeah,
know?
you're right, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the big reasons. Those are the two big reasons. They basically combine into one uh scenario of me not being able to be myself, and I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not going to hide who I am. Um, I understand the cursing. I don't want to be the guy that keeps slipping up, because
Gary Vee cannot sell on Dibdit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
I t-
yeah,
yeah.
it's that's
Yeah. I took some of those the drinking cursing guidelines as more something they wanted to have in place in case there was like extreme.
yeah.
Like I've been at whatnot shows where the whatnot literally shut down the show because the person was like falling over drunk and like selling the
Mhm.
same thing over and over again. So I almost felt like they were like in place just in case they had like a nightmare scenario show up where like, look, you're
yeah,
here's the guidelines, but it's
yeah, and they
teach his
they
own.
had.
Yeah,
I know they actually had people in the comments in one of their shows joking, obviously, but they were like, "Hey, man, you got any weed for sale?" and things like that,
Mhm.
and that's
yeah,
what they want to stop from happening.
yeah. Makes sense.
Um, when they talk about drug use and stuff, and then again, the drinking, they say excessive, so they're okay with you drinking, just kind of hide it or whatever. Um, don't be excessive, you know. So I understand. I can't hide who I am. It's not in me
Yeah,
to do that.
Yeah.
makes
But yeah,
sense.
guys, I think we kind of covered that. It
Yeah,
may come back up in conversation throughout this episode or other episodes, but basically, what I want just everyone to understand is I am completely in cooperation. I guess I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I'm totally okay with them running their business exactly how they want to, and they should have the right to do that.
Yeah,
How I run my
absolutely.
business is a different way. I I genuinely mean this, and a lot of people will say, "Oh, well, you want people to advertise other platforms so that way they get followers on knickknacks and Dibdit, and then you can farm them over to your side." while that is a natural consequence, I truly just want people to be able to promote themselves. That's one of my principles. Brinley and I are fine. We have enough money and we have enough projected money coming in for the rest of our lives that I am completely financially stable and I don't need extra money. A lot of people do not believe that, and that's okay. But I just really, if you have a yard sale coming up, talk about it on First Class Treasures. If you have a knickknack show coming up, talk about it on First Class Treasures. Do what is best for you. And if you are truly selling more and more often on another platform than you are First Class Treasures, I want you to go to that other platform and take care of your family and live a great life. So,
Cool.
and I'm sure Dibdit wants the same. They just, have different guidelines where they want it to stay within the confines of the Dibdit market, and that is completely fine and up to them. It's just a different product and service that consumers are looking for. So.
Yeah, and I'll go on record here saying, because I know Dave kind of made a video. He wasn't in, he wasn't coming back at me in his video or anything, but he did mention my video. He didn't mention me or the channel, but he was talking about it, and he mentioned that I think it was 2 weeks into his district selling, that he was selling over on Knickknacks, and that he had mentioned something along the lines of, "Hey, go follow me over on District or Dibdit or whatever," and he was permabanned from Knickknacks. Yep. And I personally think that's absolutely stupid, especially two marketplaces so far apart, right?
Oh yeah,
You're Dibdit and what's hers, Knickknacks. They're nowhere near the same ballpark on what types of items are being sold over there, and I just think that's ridiculous. I understand First Class Treasures and Dibdit are a lot alike in a lot of certain aspects, so I could see, where they would not want that being brought up while people are live selling on their platform. But Dave, if you are watching this, I did think it was absolutely stupid that you got banned over there. I think that's a silly reason personally. I know you guys are working it into your business model, and I wish you guys well over there. Don't take it hard. Don't take it the wrong way, guys. It's just an opinion I have.
And again, I don't think it's stupid that Knickknacks banned Dave. Like, that was in the confines of their platform, and they need to run their platform the way that they see fit. That's what I love about this, pure capitalism, right? But then also, I can foresee comments of people saying, well, if Dave got banned for promoting his marketplace, why are they being hypocritical and doing the same thing to people on their marketplace? And what I say to that is, like, we are all humans that learn along the way. Especially in business, you learn things along the way. Dave learned, you know what? I shouldn't have promoted my business at another business. And so I'm going to learn from that and also tell other people, hey, sorry, you can't promote your business within my business. It's just not the way that our business works. It's all completely fine.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, guys, how's reselling going?
Pretty good.
Good. Yeah. Strong week for me. I mean, it was, not quantity, but some decent quality sales as far as value. So it's always a nice thing. We're shipping less, but same amount of money, right? So.
Yeah. I've been doing pretty well. Lots of good, and it's going to seem funny after all this craziness with my last video, but I just shipped out the bag sale I did over on Dibdit Threads, and that was such a good freaking show, man. Like over $500 show, so it was great. But also eBay sales are rolling in.
Get there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the crazy thing. Like, I think about it, and not to dwell, but I think about it, and I'm like, man, those guidelines came out about an hour after my show ended. Had I run that show an hour after I did, that could have meant permaban for Shane. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy part that when I think about it. But I also kicked off my Etsy store. Taking a little page out of Keith's book. I don't know about you, Jake, if you do any Etsy, but I don't know what I'm doing over there yet. I got my very first listing up, so that was last night. So we'll keep plugging along. I keep getting spam messages from people wanting me to click links and enter in bank account information and stuff like that. Kind of like when you're new on eBay, people try to take advantage of you. Yeah. I think it's the same thing, but yeah. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep everybody informed on my Etsy journey.
The great thing about Etsy, Shane, is that there's very little like offer stuff. It's all like just buy it now. Like, you might get an occasional message asking for a better price, but 99 times out of 100, they just buy it, and it's, you just get the selling notification, just ship it out, which is nice. I mean,
Yeah, well, like
yeah,
that Amazon's like that, right? You can't
yeah,
just go in there and make offers. You buy it or you move
yeah,
along. And I almost wish eBay was like that. There were no offers. I don't mind sending out offers. Don't get me wrong, but it would make a lot more sense to me if everything was just buy it now or auctions and the price is what it is. There's less back and forth, and you know pe- people getting blocked for lowball offers and things like that. I kind of
yeah.
wish the offers things wasn't even there.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah,
I'm considering starting Etsy as well, just because. So my eyeglasses, they sell extremely well. I sell dozens of pairs almost daily, but they are definitely my slowest sell through rate items for sure. But they're one of those items that when I list them on multiple platforms, the sell through rate overall does go up. So I sell, 5 to 8 pairs daily on eBay. And then I sell 1 to 2 on Mercari every day and 1 to 3 on Poshmark every day. I was selling 1 to 3 every day on Depop until I got banned from Depop. And then I'm assuming that Etsy would probably be another, 1 to 3 per
yeah,
day. And then I'm selling like 1 or 2 per week on First Class Treasures. And those are starting to pop up in Google searches as well, which is awesome. But so Etsy, I've never looked into Etsy. Do they have subscriptions like eBay as well, or do you have to pay insertion fees no matter what?
I think you have to pay insertion fees. I've never seen the membership. I
Okay.
should look into it a little deeper, but it's like 20 cents per item for like 3 months. So
I
it,
Uh-huh.
signed up
yeah. Oh yeah,
yesterday,
shoot.
and immediately upon signing up, and you have to pay like a $29 uh, fee, right, just to open your store. But then they had a promotional thing. I don't know if it's promotion or if it's standard. Keith, I know you've been selling there for a while, so maybe this is fairly new, but
Yep.
for $10 a month, you get free insertion fees, and um, after 6 months, you get that $29 back. And then you also there was like a $5 credit of some kind for something. I didn't really look into it. I was just like, you know what? I'll give it a shot for $10 a month,
Yeah.
and see what happens, and see what makes sense. But it is 20 cent insertion fee.
Every 90
I
days.
think every
Yeah.
90 days. Yes. So
I mean, that's not bad, especially
No.
if your items are $40.
yeah,
Even if
Yeah.
it takes 180 days to sell, that's still just 1% of your sales total. So
I was looking
Yeah.
through Keith's Etsy store. He can afford 20 cent per item.
Yeah, and I have a lot over there. None of it's cross listed. It's all either eBay or Etsy. It's all like segmented. But
Mhm.
yeah, Etsy's much more seasonal. I mean, I sell things daily, but I mean, certain times you're like graduation times or uh, holidays, Father's Day. That's when that's like really booms for me over there, based on what I sell. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I could see that.
yeah,
yeah, well, I'm seeing here on what's it called? FLYP, my cross lister that I use. It looks like Etsy is available
nice.
to cross list and also to be able to delist when it sells on another platform. So yeah, after this, I'm probably going to set up an Etsy store and use my wife's social to start another Depop store. The reason why I
Yeah,
got the reason why
I was gonna ask.
I got banned on Depop because I was listing cameras, and I didn't know you couldn't. They're like, hey, we don't allow any electronics outside of like pretty much hairstyling equipment. So like they straight up just want clothing and accessories that you put
okay.
on your body. So yeah, I was selling a ton of cameras, and they're like, these you have 114 cameras listed. Go home. So that was the end of that. But I think I sold like 18 pairs of eyeglasses on Depop in 7 days before I got banned. So I want to get
Oh,
that back.
nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I was
Plus I
almost
cleared my
banned on it. I was almost banned on Etsy for selling Redskins items, Washington Redskins, because they've
Oh yeah.
banned that name. And I initially I would take the Redskins out of the title, just say Washington Football Team, which they were called for a brief time. But because it was still a Redskins piece, they still like kicked those items off. So I just keep that on eBay now. But Etsy's a little more strict with some things like that, where eBay it's mostly the Wild West with listing. I mean,
Yeah.
not everything, but at least that kind of
Not
stuff.
jarts. No jarts.
Yeah, no lawn
Yeah,
darts.
no
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Do you know? Do you know if they would allow pocket knives and stuff? Because those get taken down from Mercari on me. So.
I don't know because I've never even looked for it. I would think probably
Yeah.
not, but
Well,
I can't.
actually, my uncle sells on Etsy, and he says that
Oh, really?
he sells like Damascus steel knives.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Let's see. I'm gonna go to Etsy and type in pocket knife, see what happens.
So did
Oh
you
yeah,
guys see the
totally.
reseller leftovers podcast talking about us a little bit?
I haven't
yeah.
seen it. What they say?
So well, first off, Mike Deathpile Picker made a comment about me leaving the reseller locker room
Uh huh.
podcast because I didn't have enough time to do the podcast and do other things. But then I ended up over here. But the difference is I don't have a 9 to 5 job anymore. So obviously there's a ton of freed up time on my plate now. And the locker room didn't ask. They didn't ask me to come back. Jake asked me to come. So
Yeah.
here I am. But one of the things they brought to light was our thumbnail
Yeah.
and how we were going to be the death of Trash to Cash podcast, but that's not what it was referencing.
No.
To be honest, I don't even
So
know what that was referencing. Keith just sent me the thumbnail. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
I did this." I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah. I will say I did that. Jimmy commented on the in the reseller locker room. I'm not the locker room, the reseller leftovers podcast about that, and I guess coming on the heels of the whole guideline thing and all Shane's video, maybe that
Uh huh.
that thumbnail looked a little different than it was originally intended because I made that thumbnail last week, much before any of that happened. But that was mainly dealing with the fact that like they alluded a little bit that their podcast was dying because they weren't selling on eBay anymore.
Yeah.
So that was the whole generation of that thumbnail. That's all that meant. Not that we're
yeah,
taking their spot or
I don't remember which one of them said. I think it was Dave, but he had commented on they had a dying podcast. So
yeah, exactly.
it was hilarious when Keith created that thumbnail. I was like, man, this
That's a
is
good
great,
thumbnail.
you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know if the my video kind of made people think we were taking a shot at him, and it wasn't. It was meant to be comedic. So
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. It was tongue in cheek.
the thumbnail and title of this podcast that we're on right now will definitely seem like another shot unless people click on it. So
Okay.
that's for sure. But no, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
what'd you find on the pocket knives?
Oh yeah, they have a ton of like Damascus steel handmade ones.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm gonna type in.
I wondered about that because there's a lot of people that have little mini forges at their homes, you know, where they hand make knives and stuff. I sold one or two on First Class Treasures that I had bought from a guy in Louisiana who made knives.
Oh yeah, and I see tons of Ray-Bans listed. I don't know if they're used though. They all look brand new.
I would think that would do very well over there because I saw a lot of vintage clothing, vintage hats, like that kind
Yeah.
of I can envision them doing very well.
Oh yeah, here's some Ray-Ban Club Masters used. Only one left, so yeah, definitely a one-off item for sure.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Start selling some more eyeglasses. It'd be fun.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I sourcing was really good this Saturday. I live in a cold town now. It sucks for my
Yeah.
personal lifestyle and for my business because there's not as much good stuff. But I this Saturday it was like warmer than normal. So this estate sale that runs out of a storage unit had an awesome sale, and I got a ton of really good pocket knives and vintage GI Joes and vintage Star Wars sealed and packaged figures. So that was really dope. And then I found another like buy sell trade shop that is going out of business just north of me in Roy. If anyone wants to compete, let's go. Um, and they sold me. I got a ton of really good Oakleys and American Optical golden eyeglasses for $1 each. Insane. It was dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I found somebody selling their Star Wars action figure collection. I don't know, about a year and a half ago or so, and I bought them out. Everything they had for only $135. I made an absolute killing on that, and I only had like 3 left whenever First Class Treasures kicked off. So in one of my first shows over there, I just pulled the other 3 off of eBay and sold them because I'd already made a ton of money. But
You got $3 for them?
probably, yeah,
Yeah.
and absolutely fine with that.
Yeah.
One of them I did send to Brad from Black Sheep Society
Sheep, yeah.
because he bought one of my action figures out of my store that was not Star Wars, and I had already sold that on District and didn't realize it, and so it was still in my eBay store. He bought it, just trying to help a brother out, show some support.
Hmm.
And I looked for that thing for 2 days before I remembered selling it, and so I just sent him a much nicer, cooler Star Wars action figure than what he actually paid for. So hopefully he was all right with that.
Jake, I was showing my wife. I was watching your video, the electronics sourcing video that like you were showing
Hmm.
the remotes you picked up, and I was showing my wife. I'm like, look at these remote values. Like this is like a $50 remote. He paid $3 for it. And she's like, people buy remotes, and she was like flabbergasted that that's like one of the big things you source. But meanwhile, on our table right next to the couch is my surround sound remote that my dog chewed to pieces. So it makes sense that why people do
Yeah.
it. But
Was it a
yeah,
Samsung one?
no, it's Sony. Sony, I
Sony.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
it
sell
still
a lot of
works,
those
but
Samsung remotes because dogs love to chew those ones more than any other remote for some reason.
oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a remote right here, Jake. Let's see. This is I don't know the maker. I can't read the thing, but the model number is MX780. I don't know what this goes to.
Oh, that's a
Um,
URC universal. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
yeah, unfortunately, I can't get it to work. But I bought it off of your marketplace actually. In Mandy's live sale, one of her live sales, but I paid $7 for it, and for parts, I should still be able to get like 30 to 40. But it's like a $80 remote, Keith,
Oh,
if
wow.
it works. Yeah,
How do you? Yeah, that was a question I was going to ask. A lot of these remotes, like if you don't have the receiver or the television, how do you know if it works?
So if a remote doesn't have a screen
Okay.
and I clean out if it has any corrosion and I clean it out and it looks crispy, I just don't even test them at this point because I
Okay.
think at this point I have sold 8,700 remotes and I have had returned not working 3 times.
Oh,
So
wow.
3 out of 8,700 is pretty dang good.
So usually they work. Okay.
Yeah, so
Cool.
usually they work. But if you do want to test them, all you do is you hold up your phone with its camera
yeah.
and then you put batteries in your remote and you take up and you push all of the buttons. And then if you look, let me grab a remote. I'm sure I have
Yeah, a lot of the
right
a
here.
lot of the remotes have this screen here, and there's a light inside. Yeah, there
Okay.
you
Yeah,
go.
so you see that little
Yep.
crystal orb kind of looking thing? If it works, then you will see a little bluish pink purplish light saying that
Huh.
it's firing and it's
But
working.
you have to look through
Okay.
your camera. It's weird. Naked eye can't see it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
naked eye
Okay,
can't
it's
see
good to
it.
know.
Yeah.
But this one
Yeah.
does have a screen. It's got fresh batteries in it. I even had it plugged in because it has a cable. Uh, and I can't get it to turn on. It's got two different power buttons, one for a system and one just for power, and nothing happens. So this is going to have to be for parts, unfortunately. But
Yeah, the
it's
more
still
sophisticated
still
the
cool.
remote, the more likely it won't work. But
Hmm.
most remotes are just plastic and buttons. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, on my sourcing trip to Vegas, so my mother-in-law went with us, so she paid a third of it, and then I paid a third, and Brinley paid a third. So the whole trip ended up costing us like $350, and I found a bipod. It's a military tripod, but it only has two, and
Yeah.
it's only like I mean maybe I can pull it up here. Anyway, it sold for $225, and I got it in the bins for probably
Nice.
Dang.
$1.50. Let's
That's
see if I
awesome.
can pull it up.
That's the kind of bins find I like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that would have been if you ever see the old war movies and stuff when they're laying down with their sniper rifles and stuff, they always have a bipod on the front of it that attaches to the gun, and those two legs kick down for stability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that may be what you had.
So I'm gonna share my screen here. Here she is. An Accutac LR10 G2 quick detach bipod sold
Yep,
for
that's
$225
exactly
plus shipping.
Wow.
that's exactly
nice.
what it is. That's cool, man. That's a great find.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, see that top piece clicks on the rail on the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Like honestly, I love the Vegas bins. a lot of people. So obviously, it's different than it was, and so people that have been there for years now say that it sucks. I really believe it has a lot to do with perspective as well as the actual environment that you're in. But I don't know. I found that plus a camera, a Nikon 4500 body only that sells for 350. It's like plus I found three Dyson vacuums that I've parted all out. So another $400 worth of vacuums. It's just it's crazy to me that like everywhere I go, people tell me my area sucks, and then I go to that area and I make thousands of dollars a day. I don't know. I know it sounds
Yeah.
arrogant, and people get really pissed when I say that, but I haven't found an area yet where I don't find things that I'm looking for. And
Yeah.
I was actually having a conversation with someone in line in the DI this morning. They're like, "Oh, did I went to a place that I don't go to a ton?" But when I walked up, they're like, "Oh, no camera crew today," just kind of joking around. And then they're like, "Did no one tell you that Thursdays suck?" I'm like, "Oh, I haven't had a sucky day here yet. We'll see how today goes." And then today I found this Game Boy with Mario in it. It's worth 20
Nice.
bucks. I found a $100 Canon camcorder and a $150 Canon camera. And so I went over to him and I'm like, it doesn't suck when you look for yellow cars, man. So,
Yeah.
and like I had a cool conversation with him because it humbled him a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, man, if you look for negativity, you will find negativity. Like you destroyed your day here. You have destroyed Thursdays in your own mind, and so you won't succeed on Thursdays here, unless, of course, there's magically an MCM item that comes out every once in a while that's exactly what you're looking for. You'll still get lucky on with a bad attitude, but your bad attitude literally can kill your business.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's my whole YouTube channel, man. It's just people telling me the only reason why I'm successful is because I'm in Utah.
Are there bins out by you, Jake, or are there no bins?
Yeah, they're Salt Lake bins,
Oh, okay.
and and like I was saying, sorry, sorry, my wife made me a tortilla, and it's fire. Um, so to completely counter what I just said, the Salt Lake bins aren't as good as the Vegas bins. Like the Vegas bins, I find all those Dysons, and I find Bose remotes, and I find Bose players, and a lot of stuff. And then the Salt Lake bins, they just don't really do electronics. They must
Okay.
have a truck that collects them all or something like that. I don't know, but it's still great. I still go there, and I go there with a positive attitude, and I just found a $70 Disney snow globe in the bins because everywhere you go, there's really valuable, really
Yeah.
valuable stuff in every single square inch of this country. It's great.
It was the same situation down in Orlando for the Trash to Cash event
Mm-hmm.
last January 2024. We went into the bins at like I don't know 10 o'clock in the morning. They had been already been open for 2 hours, I believe, and nothing but clothes, as far as the eye could see. And I was like, "Oh, this is going to be horrible." But then I pulled my head out of my rear and actually went digging, and I found like a two-way radio, like a military style one that sold for I don't know 60 to 80 bucks if I remember correctly. I did find some clothing, some vintage Y2K jeans that were like $60 jeans. I found all kinds of stuff because I did away with that negativity that I first walked in when I saw nothing but clothing bins, and just took that negativity away. Went out and found some stuff and made the trip worth it.
Yeah. And the way with the bins are, with all like everything hodgepodge into those giant tubs. I mean, people could be there looking for hours and they won't see that one item when you pick something up, right? It's always a chance, even when
Absolutely.
you're not first in line or first thing in the morning.
And
Yep.
like, I'll be clear, life isn't just roses and unicorns and fairy dust or whatever the saying is. Like, you can have a good attitude and still find nothing. It happens.
Oh
But
yeah,
Oh
if
yeah.
like I don't know if it's God or the universe or biological chemistry, I don't know what it is, but when you have a positive demeanor, your luck increases significantly because you're like I don't know what it is. Like you really do attract what you're looking for. Like I don't want to get all weird and hippie and talk about manifesting and journaling and like, cold plunges or whatever. But if you think positive thoughts, your reality will become positive by nature. And if you think negative thoughts, your reality will become negative by nature. It's insane. Like especially just, like having this YouTube channel and talking about how to make more money online. You can see people who have like dude, I'm sorry to pick on people that live in Florida, but if you can't find good stuff to sell on the internet in Florida, you suck. It is completely your fault, and it's because you are a negative person. Like,
Yeah.
so like especially on TikTok, I hear so many comments like, "Oh, it's not like that in Florida. Wish I could find things in Florida." I'm like, bro, you just need to drive probably 6 minutes longer, and you will find good stuff.
Yeah.
But you
I
just have to have a
think
good attitude while you're sourcing.
I think if I lived in Florida, I could make a living selling golf clubs alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't think I would need to source anything else. There's so many people that play golf down there. I- And it's a year-round sport down there because they don't really have winners compared to a lot of the rest of the country. So I know I could find outside of golf clubs. I know I could find a ton of stuff if I was looking for that. But I think honestly, I could just do golf clubs year round and be okay.
Well, and we're spoiled as resellers as far as margins go. But if you're willing to, have a lower margin, you can even go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy clubs for 140 that sell for 210, and you can buy them for $60 that sell for 150, 120. A lot of times we just want to get it all for $5 at the yard sale, but like
Yeah.
you can buy a golf club for $30 and sell it for $55 plus shipping, and make $10 per club, and find really in demand ones. Plus, you're getting a ton of them for $6 that sell for 150 along the way, and you can make a ton of money off of golf clubs alone.
Yeah, I bought
Yeah.
an iron set last summer, brand new in the box, sealed box, set of Titleist irons, from on Whatnot for $800. And people are like, dude, there's no like. I was on the locker room back then, and Ben was like, there's no way I can spend $800 on something. I'm like, dude, I'm about to make 400 though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, and it didn't take very long. So like, how can you not be okay with that? I get it. $800 is a lot for somebody to tie up in one purchase, but if you know it's going to sell pretty quickly, it's okay. Buy the thing.
Yeah.
you know,
No, I
I
had the
can
same
imagine
conversation.
how much money Keith ties up into things. I've seen some of the
Yeah.
stuff he sells for big money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I had the exact same conversation with Ben when I was on the podcast last time.
I remember. Yeah, I
And I'm
remember
like,
that.
yeah, I'm willing to spend 75 on something that sells for 85. If there's 400 sold and 2 listed, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll make $6. I'll make $3. It's gonna sell
Yeah,
today.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And it's like no
yeah,
risk too, right? It's gonna
It's going to
move.
sell
Yeah.
within an hour of you listing it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
Good
For
stuff.
sure.
But yeah, how's sourcing going?
Good for me. I hit the flea market this morning. Still pretty. It was supposed to be warmer, but it was like in the 30s and windy. But still, I bought a lot. Bought a lot more antiques than like modern stuff. But this is sort of a cool piece that I bought this morning. It's a little like you can tell it's a silhouette of Reverend Thomas Barnard, who was like the Reverend during the Salem witch trials. And it's like
Nice.
it's with the original artist in there. I'm sure it doesn't date to the 17th century, but it's probably a 19th century little piece. So I
That's
thought it was sort of cool.
killer, dude.
Yeah,
I love
it was in a big lot of stuff I bought, like a bunch of those Edison record cylinders, the early phonograph, the wax cylinders you would play in a early music machine. So all kind of antiques that I'll either sell on District or put them in my antique shop. To be honest, a lot of the stuff.
How's your antique shop going?
Good. I mean, I have a ton of space. I have like with me and my dad and a buddy, I split some space. We have about 9 booths all together, so it's a lot of retail space. But I focus a lot more on online sales. My dad does a lot more out there. He doesn't do anything online, so a lot of the stuff out there is his. But I still do pretty well. Yeah.
So are you guys partnered at all, or is your stuff, his stuff, his stuff?
Generally, it's totally separate. Occasionally, we'll partner on things, but generally, his is his, mine is mine. But it's great to have that space for me because if I buy bigger items, I mean, it's I bought an antique like 1800s rocking chair at a yard sale this past summer. I'm not going to try to ship that. That's in the antique shop.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that avenue for the big stuff for sure.
So I went to UPS to drop off some golf clubs and a baseball bat this morning, and I was there. I always go to the Goodwill across the street. I didn't get there till like 10:30, and I didn't find much. I found a super dope double-sided U.S. Marine Corps flag, like 3x5 large flag, that looks like it comps for about 40. I paid $4 for. And then the most little unassuming things sometimes, like this little tiny I paid $2 for it, but it's a Sony DVD rewritable disc, a little tiny one. It's like a, I don't know, 3 inches.
Yeah, almost like a GameCube one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I scanned the barcode, and people are selling them in stacks of 3 for $40. They're selling for that, and I'm like, I'm buying every single one they got. So
Nice.
I ended up finding 8 of them, and I figure I'll do stacks of 4 for like 45. And I mean, I spent $16 on them, but they should sell pretty quickly, and I may even do 4 at 40 and just undercut the other guys, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, even the most little unassuming things, like they had them thrown up on the shelf next to some phone cases, and the same store right next to those phone cases the other day, Jake saw I found printer ink that sells for a 2-pack for like 30 something bucks, and a TI-84 silver edition calculator sitting there for $5. They just it blows my mind the things they put in the case versus some of the stuff they put on the shelf. And I never get there right when they open, and people walk by this stuff all day long because it's just not something they're looking for, you know.
Exactly.
And I'm not the only reseller that goes there. Every time I go there, when they do open, which is very rare because I generally try to get my shipping. If I got to go to town, I'm going to do everything at once. But the same people are there at 9 a.m. every single day. So these resellers just aren't selling the same things as me, I guess. So they leave. That's the third TI-84 that I found. One was a CE. I sold for, it was red. It was $95. I sold another one for 40 or 50. This one should sell for 40 or so. Like, it's crazy. I love my little one Goodwill that I have close to me. I have to drive on the other side of town and stuff to hit all the rest of them. But yeah, this little one by me, and Josh and Haley nor Evan ever come to it. So because they sell the things I sell.
The one connected to the bins. The bins is
Nope.
on the other side of town.
Yeah, that one's, so the one I go to is about a 15-minute drive from me because I do live out in the country. I'm in the middle of the woods. It's a 15-minute drive to the one closest to me, which is where my post office and all that kind of stuff is. About another 15 to 20 minutes down the road is where the bins location is. And I do go there often. Like, there's days of the week where I go try to hit as many thrift stores as I can, and it's all like 2 counties, but it's like 5 different towns. And I try to hit every single one if I can in a single day. But when I'm busy shipping, like I just shipped out all those bags and stuff from the Dibdit thread show, I had a lot to ship. So plus my eBay sales, today I just went into town, dropped all that stuff off, hit the Goodwill, then came home for lunch and record with you guys. But
nice.
Yeah, I do find some really good stuff out there. I run into Evan quite a bit. And usually if I see his car, I'm like, do I even need to go inside? Because, but I've walked in there before, and, you know, I found a $135 hockey mask one time that he didn't even think twice about. So
Dude, sporting equipment is insane. It can be insane.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about the vintage stuff like Keith, because Keith finds such cool items.
Wait, let me make a Roman comment. Keith has sold a jockstrap for $17 million on eBay. Saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah, that's a good Roman impression for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Keith has the eye, right, for the vintage stuff. I know more of the modern stuff. And sometimes I've seen wooden bats, and I'm like, I don't know if this is any good. Now I know Keith, and you know we're buddies and stuff, so I'll just shoot him a text message and say, hey, what do you think about this? But before him and I knew each other, I didn't know anybody else that knew the vintage stuff, so I didn't know how to actually tell what am I looking at here. So I keep telling Keith I'd love to come up to Philly and go sourcing with him and just watch him in action and learn from him. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I would say the majority of the vintage wooden bats don't have much value when you see them. There's certain little things to look for, but I don't know. On the opposite side of the spectrum, I know very little about modern equipment. So, I mean, I've heard Jake talk about it and certain things to look for, but I mean, I would look them up if I found a great early looking like bat, aluminum bat or whatever, or composite bat, maybe they are, whatever they are. But I'd have to look them all up if I found them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my best sourcing avenue for the last few weeks has been District. First Class Treasures, Dibdit. I'm getting a lot of really good stuff. Rad Picker, Scott.
Ah,
Scott, I'm speaking to you directly right now. I'm about to break your heart, dude. Scott was selling some 1940s and 1950s Johann model cars. And as he was running them, he's like, I don't know what these are. You guys might be making thousands of dollars off me tonight. I just haven't looked these up. It was like late night. It was probably like 12 or 1 a.m. Eastern time. So there was only like 7 people in the show. And I was buying all of these Johann model cars for $1 each. I
oh,
got
Oh
six
wow,
of them, and the average one sells for $130. And there's one of them that
wow.
sells for over 300. I'm like, dude.
Only
yeah.
Oh man, good old rat picker, Scott, dude. Thanks for the deals, buddy.
Even last night, he was showing some awesome cars, and I'm like exhausted, like 11:30, and I'm like, I want to hang in here and keep watching, keep bidding, but I
Uh-huh.
gotta go to sleep. So I don't know what I missed last night, but he's got great stuff.
Yeah.
it's crazy. These people that run that late, like I'm in bed at 9:30 almost every single night.
Yeah,
It's just I have been for 27 years. That's what I've been doing because of my career, and my wife goes to bed at that time now. So like it's just I want to stay up and catch a lot of this stuff because I know like you do some stuff at like 10 p.m. Keith, and whatnot and things,
yeah,
and I'd love to be there, but I just cannot stay up that late. That's my friend Kristen. Um, 2K flips she goes by, but one thrifty mom. She does whatnot shows, and they're always super late. And I'm like, I can't do it. I
yeah,
can't support you. You got to go earlier in the day if you want me to support you. Because she's
yeah,
like, you're never in my shows. I'm like, I
I'm back.
can't keep my eyes
yeah,
open that late. Welcome back,
yeah,
Jake.
What I
yeah.
missed.
Talking about
Oh
some
no,
late night streaming, late night.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I do a
I was
show
just
late Monday night with Carrie and Rod. I'm like a part of a raid train, but I get home from work at like 9:30 at night. So by the time I get ready to go, it's 10:30 at night. That's a long day because I work 12 hours, then I do a stream for an hour. But yeah, it's
So
definitely a bigger crowd.
do you kind of have like a nurse schedule, like you do 312s, or is that kind of how your thing works out? Or
No, I do 112. Then I work 1 to 7 on Thursday. Then Wednesday I do surgery, so I'm usually there
uh-huh.
till like noon, and then off Thursday. So I don't. And then Friday Saturday rotates. But so my schedule's not bad. I definitely have some free time to source and be on be on first class treasures or wherever I'm selling. So
Uh-huh.
you
pretty good
said
schedule.
1 to 7 on Thursdays
Yeah.
a.m.
No,
Ugh,
one afternoon to 7 p.m. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite sell of the week was on First Class Treasures and CW Collectibles. Love that guy. He sold this little like Riptide Ninja Turtles toy to me. I bought it for $2. I got it, and then that same day I reran it on a live on First Class Treasures, and he bought it back for $5. Oh, CW, dude, what a guy!
It's
That's
wild.
hilarious.
Because when I held it up, I'm like, I was describing it, and then he put in the comments, "Wait, did I sell this to you?" And then I said, "If I tell you no, will you bid?" And he said, "Yeah." I'm like, okay, then it wasn't from you. He's like, "Okay," and then he bid it up to $5. I'm like, "No, yeah, it definitely came from you, man."
Yeah.
He's
That's
like, "I
hilarious.
know. I just wanted it back."
That's funny.
That's a good business model. Sell for two, buy back for five. It's
Yeah,
great business.
Yeah, yeah.
that's a
That's
good way
great.
to get out of holes.
I mean,
That's
as
funny.
someone dealing in vintage sports items, I've done that a lot where I've bought and sold the same item multiple times, and that's always fun when it happens. You make money on it multiple times.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, you probably have done it too with remotes, maybe, Jake, or maybe it's churned over a couple times, but that's
Well,
always fun.
I've sold a lot of eyeglasses on Shop Commons, and then someone has resold that same lot back on Shop Commons for less, and then I pick it up and then I just sell it again. That's great.
That's awesome.
So like I'll sell it for like 160 live, and then they'll sell like 5 of them individually. And like the majority of them are really great glasses. And then they just put the rest of them back up on Commons for like $40. So then I'll buy them at 40, and then I'll just like rerun them live and get more money for them again. It's great.
Yeah,
Have you guys ever
Yeah,
seen
that's
that
good.
meme on Facebook where it's like if you buy a goat for $40 and then sell it for 50, and then buy the same goat you just sold to someone back for 40 and then sell it again for 50, how much money have you made? Dude, the comments are crazy on those, man. Like, people just don't know how to do math in business. It's so funny. Like, you made no money because you bought it back. Like, no, he sold it for 10. He made $10, and then
Yeah.
he bought it back at $40, and then he sold it again for 50 and made another $10. No, he's only made $10 total. It's like, okay, whatever. Dude, people are funny.
Yeah. Sounds like a $20 bill to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yep.
Gotta love it. Oh man,
Yeah.
guys, I'm so ready for Mexico. Hopefully everything.
Oh yeah.
goes
When's that trip coming?
Oh, it's actually this next week. So you guys are gonna do this solo or grab a third guest.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Yeah.
you guys be thinking who you guys want to invite.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, well, me and Shane will talk for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talk on a
Be a good
daily
time.
basis, anyways. So.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I
We'll figure it
I
out.
really want to get Rad Picker on the podcast. He was talking about it to me and Keith last night in his late show. It's like, you guys better get me on the podcast. I'm like, oh, we will for sure.
Yeah, we'll wait for
Yeah.
you to get back for that one then.
Yeah.
Um,
I wanted to reach out
yeah,
to him because we'll figure out a good guest. I know Shane, we both know some people who'd be great. But yeah, I wanted to talk to Rad because on my live on Wednesday nights, my buddy's a big Lions fan, and there's like no other Detroit fans out there on YouTube. So I wanted to talk about having him on my live to do a Detroit topic for my buddy Andy. Because there's not many of them out there. Yeah.
Keith, are you winning the dang thing from last night yet?
I didn't check. I got to check. I mean, I know.
You should have been.
Yeah. Jake, we do it like a live draft every Wednesday night, sort of like what Paul did early on Monday nights in the past, and we put it up for a post and see who gets more votes. But I've been on a major losing streak over there. So,
Are you two interested in doing a bracket for March Madness?
yeah, I usually do one each year.
I don't know anything about basketball, but
Just pick the pretty colors, the ones that you like the most.
Yeah.
No, and anyone in the comments that want to join a bracket, it might be too late by Monday though.
When does it come out? Sunday, I think. And does it start Wednesday, Thursday?
So yeah, it should be good by Monday then. So yeah, comment below if you guys want to be part of our bracket. We can do a free one with everyone that wants to participate, and then we can also do a paid one for anyone that's interested. Like maybe we can do a $10 buy-in. I'm willing to do like a $50 or $100 buy-in. I like those bigger stakes, but a lot of other people don't. But if we want to do like a free one, and then we can do a $10 buy-in or however much we decide as a group. I love brackets, so it's a fun time.
Absolutely.
I'd be interested in doing it. If nothing else, I learn a little bit, right?
My wife can finally do them with me again because she was a D1 athlete for soccer, and in her NIL deal, she could not. It was completely outlawed, and like she would like get her scholarship and her team status taken away if she did a men's basketball bracket. And like Utah Tech, the team that she played for, didn't even make the bracket, but they're like they would remind them every year, you guys cannot and will not do this bracket. Oh.
We have the home course that I play golf at. We do every Wednesday night. It just kicked off last night. They have what they call a dog fight, and it's 9 holes of golf. And it's a whole gambling thing, right? You're paired up with somebody. You don't know who that's going to be until the whole thing's over with. You play with whoever you want, but your partner could be somebody on another group. And then it's based off a point system, but it's $18 for the 9 holes, and then it's $11 in cash to go into the pot, and they pay for best single, second single, best team, second place team, and then closest to the pin. There's a lot of high school golfers and college golfers that play the dog fight, but they're not allowed to participate in the gambling portion of it. I guess it's something similar to that. They can't do it. If they were to get caught, they could be suspended from the team or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend if anybody has dog fights in their area that plays golf, get in on it. It's a lot of fun. Even if you suck, you can win. So
yeah, because if you get teamed up with,
yeah, and it's based on
some reason.
points,
I don't know why this comes to mind, but I just feel like ABC Matt would be pretty decent at golf. So if you just like get teamed up with ABC Matt, guaranteed a gold coin and a rookie Michael Jordan card.
I've been trying to get Evan and Josh to come play, and they both seem interested. I think Josh has a more freer schedule than Evan because Evan's Mr. Mom, everybody knows. But I think it'd be fun to the 3 of us to get out there and play together because we've played tournaments together. But and Evan and I play golf together fairly often. But the dog fight every Wednesday night, it's a different ball game because there's money involved. It's a lot of fun.
I
Yeah.
think over at the reseller leftovers, Def Pile Picker's going to comment on you talking about dog fighting on here, Shane.
Oh,
after the
probably, yeah.
after the whole after the dark web comment in the
Oh yeah,
past
I
episode.
forgot about the dark web as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did they what they say about the dark web?
they were just saying you can
They-
learn about the dark web and how to forge signatures over on the podcast over
Oh,
the
there you
reseller
go.
island. Yeah,
There you go. It's good,
But yeah,
good
now,
wholesome
now,
quality content for sure.
now,
yeah,
now,
yeah,
now I'm the new Michael Vick
Well,
with the
yeah.
I was just
dog
about to
fighting.
say, like, speaking of dog fighting, I just sold a Michael Vick little pro line um, miniature on First Class Treasures. 2 Rad
Oh, did
Pickers.
you?
Wow. Let's just
Oh,
see how many
nice.
times we can shout out Scott Rad Picker,
Yeah.
who also started the YouTube channel. If you guys are interested, you guys should go subscribe. Scott's a
Oh,
good
I
guy.
didn't know
I
that.
like him.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, he's only doing shorts right now, but he was talking last night that he wants to start doing long form. So
He had pretty eclectic stuff. He had like awesome cards, but he had like vintage radios. He had a very eclectic mix of stuff. Sort of like what I try to have. I mean, it's a very cool, very cool group of items
Yeah,
he was offering.
unless Keith's doing an actual card show, he's kind of got a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I love
Yeah.
buying ephemera off of Keith. I don't know the first thing about it, but Keith has some of the coolest ephemera every time he
Yeah.
has a show.
Yeah,
Keith, you sold
yeah.
me some. It was like Girl Scout campfire training books. One
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah.
from 1913. One was from 1914. And I saw that there were like 4 1913 listed with 0 sold, and 4 1914 listed with 0 sold. So I put both of them together and listed them for I think 1887 plus shipping, and they sold the same day. So
Oh wow, very cool.
yeah. So individually, 0% sell through rate, but together, sold within a few hours. Great.
Yeah, it's
one
awesome.
of the one of the things I like buying ephemera from Keith is because I always learn something when I'm researching it. And this is something I got from him. It just came in the mail yesterday, I believe. It's a Monster Rally book, and it's from the New Yorker, from the 40s. I don't know if you knew that, Keith. This thing was from the 40s.
Yeah, I think I saw the copyright in there when we're 47 or something like that.
Yeah, so this is what the Addams family is based off of. Did you know that?
Yeah, because I could recognize the characters. I saw like the Gomez character. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that, I was looking through and I'm like, man, these look very familiar, like Addams family style. So I did some research and found out that's where the TV show was based off of this little comic strip
oh, that's cool.
from the New Yorker. So yeah, I'm learning stuff every time I buy something from Keith because he's always got very cool ephemera.
Yeah, and that's why I'd love to be over on district sourcing myself, but I have so much stuff. I mean, that would be like
Yeah.
counterproductive. Me trying to move inventory because the wife is. There's another giant buy looming that I could make maybe in a month or two. That my wife will kill me if I made it because I have so much already. Same person, same collection. It's just more stuff, but that's what I'm trying to move a lot on district to free up some space so she doesn't kill me when I buy more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think that's one of the biggest tips to being a successful reseller is having a spouse that supports you, but also just doesn't let you hoard and have
yeah,
a
yeah,
death
yeah.
pile. Like Shane was saying the other day, he's like, "Oh yeah, no, after a show, like I had it all over the kitchen table, and I'm like, I have to get this cleaned up before she gets home, or she'll kill me." And that's like not a negative thing that you guys are saying about your wives.
Yeah.
My wife's the same
Right.
way. Like I have never had a death pile. Part of it is my selling personality, but another part of it is Brinley saying, "Don't you clutter up our house." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Lindsay does not like clutter. So if I got stuff, we have a dining room that we turned into like a little sitting room, and that's where the snakes and a couple of the tortoises that we have, they're chilling in there too. There's a couch in there, and if I set a box down on that couch, it better be gone pretty quick. She's gonna have something to say about it. But no, she's awesome as far as supporting me. But she's like, you keep that stuff in your eBay room or outside in your 2 buildings. So that's what I try to do. But
Yeah.
sometimes when I run a show, usually it's in this room. But if I'm running bigger items like that bag show, I do it in the kitchen. I set my tripod and my iPad up on the kitchen table. And then I kind of stand in front of my bookcase, and it gives me a little more room. This room's kind of tight with all my bookshelves and shipping area and this desk is kind of tight in here for those bigger items. So when I do it out there, I got to get it back out quick.
Yeah.
Stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff in this world.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what Grams and Pops, when I first decided to try to go full time, I was talking with Corey and I was like, dude, how do you guys find they go sourcing once a week on Thursdays, and they find $3,500 worth of items because they list at least $500 every single day, and they do it in one day. And I'm like, how do you guys do that on a Thursday of all days? Because like down here in South Carolina, you're not finding anything on Thursdays except thrift stores. There's no estate sales, yard sales, or any of that, flea markets. But he said one thing we've found is that there is always an abundance of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, like Jake says, if you look for yellow cars, you'll find yellow cars. If you look for it, you'll find it. And I took that and ran with it, and I've been able to find enough stuff every day that I go sourcing. And I find enough to where I don't have to go source every day if I don't want to. So it's been pretty cool. And I just love that motto there. There's always going to be abundance of stuff. And I think he's absolutely right.
Might have stolen that
Absolutely.
one from Carrie. I think I've heard him say that. There's
Maybe. I
abundance
don't
of
know.
stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff everywhere, right?
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean eBay's going pretty well. I've seen a little uptick in sales. I think one of the issues with the reselling community is people look at their sales performance way too often, and it creates a lot of stress and anxiety. But if you just look month over month, year over year, and things are trending in a positive direction in accordance with how much work you're putting in, they usually always seem to even out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I'm
Like,
looking right here on February 19th. I only did $57 in sales on eBay. I think that's my lowest day, honestly, ever. I think that had to do with a couple big returns though. But then the next day did $842.51. I guess it's just reselling, you know.
nice. Yeah, I looked at February 19th since that's the day you called out. I did 162, and then the next
Mhm.
day I did 49. So like, and then
Yeah.
the day after that I'm back up, closer to 200. So it's like, I forget who it was that was telling me. It might have been Chris Nutter, but he said don't even pay it any attention. It's gonna do this always, up and down, up
Yeah.
and down, up and down. Don't pay it any attention. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Chris Nutter's
Yeah.
a good guy too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, as long as for me, I look at my 30-day. I don't even look day to day because it's sort of like a mean or averages all out for you. And I'm pretty, no matter what I do, I seem to be pretty consistent at a certain number. Um, I mean, I'm pretty consistent in listing anyway. I list every morning, but it, you know,
How do you do
uh,
your listings? Do you do like a certain number of items every day or dollar amount or just whatever you do is whatever you do?
uh, I mean, last year, every day last year, I did at least 10 items. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
direct aimed at a specific dollar amount. I mean, I'm at least trying to do like at least $20 items and above, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like a total that I was looking for. This year, I'm a little bit under that number. I'm probably like 5 to 10 items a day, varying values. But each before I even leave my couch, I'm going to list 5 to 10 things while I'm watching a podcast, drinking coffee in the morning.
Nice. So do you do
Yeah.
your photos and your listings separate?
Yes.
Like you
Yeah.
create drafts and then add photos?
Yeah, my wife has been doing a lot of drafting for me, which helps. She'll like photograph and list them in drafts. She doesn't do any of the titling or anything. I do all that on my end. And then I have a huge photo bank in my phone of photos that like I need to edit and put up into drafts. So downtime at lunch at work, I'm editing photos. So
That's cool.
yeah, good system.
So you literally never stop working till you lay your head down and go to bed.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't really sleep a ton either. Like I went to sleep at 11:30 last night, but was up at 5:30 to go sourcing. So I don't. Thankfully, I don't sleep much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah,
Man never stops, y'all.
I've been getting up at 5:30 every day for like the last 2 years. Sometimes you miss it every once in a while, obviously.
Yeah.
But the last few days, so ever since I got my blood work done and saw that my testosterone was low, they're like, one of the best things you can do is just add 2 or 3 hours of sleep every single night.
Hmm.
And I'm like, really? Like 3 hours? And they're like, yeah, no, if like ideally, especially in the winter, if you are having these hormonal issues, sleep 10 hours if you can. So I've been waking up at 8
Wow.
and it's been awesome. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah, like I miss it. I don't want this to become a thing. I want to get everything, back to normal levels and taken care of and then going back to getting up before the sun and working really hard every day. But man, the last like 3 weeks, it's been nice to just sleep in until 8.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. I don't think I could do that if I wanted to. Even if I want, it was up late. I'm
Yeah.
still up. It's like my body won't let me
Yeah.
do that anymore.
My wife's the
It's
same way.
same
Yeah.
here, man. 27 years of it, and I
Yes.
can't get it out of my system.
So if you guys got this aura ring, especially it sounds like you, Keith, it'll tell you like your sleeping patterns and things like that.
Huh.
And it'll show you like how much stress you have throughout the day, which stress isn't always a bad thing. You want to be under stress throughout the day as a human. But my wife, so I usually have about 90 minutes of what's called restorative time during the day where I'm just like pretty chill. My wife's telling me not to call her out right now. She hasn't had 15 minutes of restorative time since she got this ring, 4 months ago? Because when she wakes up in the morning, she immediately has enormous amounts of cortisol that just like get her ready and she just immediately starts firing on all cylinders. And it sounds like that's what you're like too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
I
like very
have
similar.
zero cortisol in the morning. I'm a zombie. It sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I never even heard of that
what's
ring.
up,
So that's
up?
so it's like a Fitbit ring kind of situation going on.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
what it
called
is?
an Aura ring.
Okay.
Oura. They're pretty expensive. I think this is like $500, but
Okay.
it has an app on your phone and it'll tell you like, hey, you're probably going to be sick in 3 days because of your body heat and blood pressure levels and things like that. And then like it'll accurately like track your period if you're a woman, which is pretty cool. And then it tells me, hey, it's scores from 0 to 100, and it'll say your sleep score was 64 last night, which isn't very good. So try to take it easier today than normal. And then it'll also have a resilience score. And so if my resilience score is above 80, then they're like, okay, you're ready to take on a bigger workload today. So go at
Hmm.
it. Sometimes I'll wake up and my resilience will be like a 96. And those are the days that I'm like, hey, I'm working 13 hours today. Let's do it.
Ah,
That's
interesting.
pretty cool. Like
I'm
Yeah.
looking
I
at
don't
them
let it
on.
govern my life that much, but it does affect my decisions and it helps me get better sleep and better recovery and all that stuff for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
at them on eBay. They look pretty cool too. Like they got
Yeah.
some cool designs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're pretty sweet. I recommend it to anyone that wants to, increase their productivity and improve their health. Like it's $500. I think you can get it for like $350 on a deal, and then it's like $6 a month for the software. So it is rather expensive, but it's totally worth it for my wife and I. We
And
really
so I
like
know, what is restorative time? That's just like almost like a meditation kind of. What is that? What does that even mean?
it.
I don't think I have it in my conscious of what that is.
Uh-huh. There's there's stressed, there's engaged, there's restorative, and then there's asleep.
Okay.
And so they say you should strive to be engaged for the majority of the day and then have moments of restorative time and then you're okay to be stressed. I'm usually stressed according to the ring for like 6 or 7 hours a day. And then I'm like engaged for 4 or 5 and then restorative the rest and asleep the rest. My wife is stressed every single minute of every single day of her life, according to the ring. Every single,
Wow.
because her cortisol levels are just so high.
Yeah.
That's funny. So yeah, you would like if you wore this ring, it wouldn't surprise me if you just, were in stress. Like even right now, you're very calm in your demeanor, but your body is probably in a state of stress, which again isn't a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
the state that it's in. It's kind
Makes
of cool.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
might have
think
to
you would
get
be,
one of
Shane?
these. Oh, I have no idea. When I get up in the morning, I'm up and I'm going.
Yeah.
But I like to chill every now and then. I'll work really hard to get all my stuff done as quickly as possible so I
Mm-hmm.
can kind of relax and chill. So I don't know what it would say about me. Honestly,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just trying to grind out just so I can get to the golf course in enough time to play 18.
There you
Um,
go.
but but yeah, like today, I was back home, had done everything, all my eBay stuff, all my shipping, all my district stuff I had done. I even sold 4 Soda City sticker packs on the Crooked Spine. I
Nice.
realized when I woke up this morning, so I had to ship those out. But got all my stuff done, off to Goodwill and the post office and UPS, and back home to record with you guys. So I feel like I'm just in chill mode, the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely interested. I'm gonna look into these rings and see. I see up to 4th gen now.
Yeah.
It looks like they're in
Yeah.
4th
So we
gen
have the
mode. But
newest 4th gen. It's pretty sweet, and they just keep
nice.
getting more and more accurate. So I listen to a lot of business podcasts, and it was actually Mr. Wonderful off of
Mm-hmm.
Shark Tank. He was
Yeah.
like, I found out about this ring, and 10 years ago, I would have paid $100,000 for this ring. I can't believe it's only $500 today. So I'm like, oh, I'll check it out. It's pretty
Wow.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the technology is really rad. And then it'll alert me like, hey, you're actually you're entering levels of stress that your body isn't normally used to. So if you can try to relax or calm down, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I
It
That's
like it.
also
cool.
tells me my cardiovascular age, which I am 29, and it says my cardiovascular system is the age of 20 healthy 25-year-olds. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So
I'm afraid what it would tell me, to be honest. I don't think I'm getting that ring.
I was watching Renix P Sale.
Yeah.
Phoenix Resale's like a alter ego account,
Yeah.
and he was like explaining his business, and then all of a sudden, halfway through the video, he's like, "Oh, man, I need to get in shape. I'm winded just talking about my business. This is embarrassing."
Yeah. It sounds like me.
I think he's 1 year older than me, maybe 2. So yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Didn't he make that alter ego because that's what Heckin' Steve called him in one of his videos or something? Renix P
Probably.
Sale.
I don't
Yeah.
know the origin of
Because
the
them
of
two
the
had that beef for a while. So, and I think Heckin' Steve still gives him a hard time, but I think
yeah.
that's where that name came from. I think Heckin' Steve actually called him Renix P Sale, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't you just love the moral dilemma of Heck and Steve? He is calling out resellers because of this moral ethical issue that they are like stealing from the poor or whatever. Meanwhile, he is diminishing and being absolutely ruthless and carnal toward another human being at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah.
So it's like it just
Yeah.
completely defeats everything. He's like, I am being such a bad person commenting on these bad people. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. Like, it's mostly for views and it's cool or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And
Didn't,
even,
didn't he,
yeah.
I'm going to point out all of these bad people and try to be the worst person possible while doing it.
Oh, yeah.
he made a video talking about how that's just a character he plays.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, dude, that's it's you. It's not a character.
I think he even said
Yeah.
word for word, I'm a Christian, but let me just destroy this child of God real quick. This is a terrible, C word, this word, F word, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Oh, yeah.
cow.
Yeah. I mean,
Wild
homophobic
stuff.
slurs and all kind of stuff that coming out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But again, I love that he is able to create his own brand and run his content business how he sees fit. I love free speech. I love capitalism. Like I really enjoy that we can actually do all these things. And if other people get offended, like I don't say this facetiously, like it's on them. You can choose to turn me on or turn me off, and we'll go about our separate ways, or we'll enjoy each other. So it's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, well, sweet. Yeah, we're wrapping up here. I don't know. I was thinking maybe while I'm gone, it might be too. I think it would be fun to kind of have like a island bash with the reseller leftovers. Maybe while I'm in Mexico, you could have, because I think 6 would just be way too many. But like when I was on the
Yeah.
Locker Room podcast, it flowed with 5. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if they're interested, they can catch a wave over to the island and hang out with you guys while I'm in Mexico.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe you guys could just get someone else. But yeah, we want to
Hey.
have a ton of. I truly want to have a ton of YouTuber people on the show. If you guys like that direction as well, because we really want to be this community of resellers. Like I'm excited to have Rad Picker. I'd love to have WSC. I once had, when I lived in St. George, this guy who literally has zero social media at all was on the podcast, and people seemed to like that episode. So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to get
Yeah,
people who have zero followers and millions of followers and everything in between. Should be
yeah,
fun.
diverse group for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
but yeah.
We'll find somebody for sure.
Well, you guys got anything to plug?
I put out a video every Saturday, 1 o'clock on my YouTube channel, Vintage Sport Flips. Usually a flea market video, picking mostly sports stuff, but not all sports. And then I have my Wednesday night lives at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We have a giveaway every week. Fun. It does have reselling topics, memorabilia topics, and we draft the topic. So fun time over there too.
Yeah, your Wednesday live shows are awesome. I enjoy hanging
Thank you.
out over there. I don't always get to make it over
Yeah.
there because I do spend a lot of time with Lindsay in the evenings. So I don't always make it, but last night was a lot of fun. Andy lost, by the way.
Yeah.
But no, Soda City Flips everywhere on social media. My marketplace over on District, thecrookedspine.com. I'd love to see you guys over there. And I put videos out every Tuesday and Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I promise they're not all as negative as everybody took the last one. But I also do a live show on Monday nights called the Soda City Social, and it's just a 2-hour show, usually around 2 hours, social hangout kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun, awesome chat, and appreciate seeing any of you new faces here at the island over there as well. Be awesome.
What did the sub count look like on that video? Are you up or down?
It's wavy. It's up a few, down a few, up a few, down a few. Like I'm losing Dibdit fans or Trash to Cash fans or whatever, Dave Carey, Kevin fans. I'm losing them, but then we all have haters, right? Every single one of us have people that don't like watching us, and their haters are catching the video and coming over and joining. So I hate losing subs anytime I knew that was going to be a possibility putting that video out because there's always going to be people that take things the wrong way than what you meant for it to come out. And so I knew that was a possibility, but I mean, there's nothing I could do about that. People are going to choose sides. Unfortunately, I don't feel like this is a choose sides kind of situation like a lot of people do, but that's what it's being viewed as. And I knew it was going to happen with the sub count, but yeah, it's funny seeing that wave come through. Just like you said, lose some, gain some, lose some, gain some. And that's every video I do. Honestly, I always lose a few and gain a few.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I hope this doesn't come across as like facetious or condescending whatsoever. But like, I truly want to plug Dibdit.com. I want you guys to, head over there and check out their platform. If you're interested in reselling, I want you guys to sell on Dibdit as well. I would love it if you guys checked out First Class Treasures and sold there as well. But I don't know. Like Dave brought up the point that if you are Spencer's, you shouldn't go into PacSun. I can't remember the stores he used.
He said Hot Topic.
Okay, I think he reversed it. I think he said Hot Topic going in. Spencer's going into Hot Topic and saying, "Hey guys, we're having a sale. Please come over from Hot Topic to." I'm confusing myself. Anyway, you guys understand. I really don't view it that way, and I know that I am a very, very, very weird individual, and I know that that is probably shared with no one. I don't think anyone thinks like I do. I am totally okay with losing business to them if it truly makes you, the individual seller, more money. I am totally in support of you and your family, right? So, anyways, I would love it if you guys truly just became better people because you watched a few of my videos. That's always my goal. So if you guys... Also, there's a lot of you guys that do not care about live selling whatsoever, and this isn't for you. So,
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Again, if you guys have shows on any other platform, even Whatnot or whatever it is, and you want to advertise it on First Class Treasures, it's open arms over there, and that is not a diss to Dibdit or Knickknacks whatsoever. It's just a different product. So, but yeah,
cool.
My wife is leaving, and I want to say bye to her. We've been going for an hour and a half, so we'll see you guys later.
Not for good, right? She's coming back.
Oh, sorry, my wife needs me. Love you guys. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
Coming, honey.